Hello everybody, hope you guys are all enjoying your day. Today we're going to be looking at our next winter storm for the Mid-Atlantic, which is going to be dumping about 1 to 3 inches of snow widespread, and areas in West Virginia and Western Virginia could be picking up over 6 inches of snowfall out of this system. We're going to be looking at where the system is currently at, and then we're also going to be looking at the NAM 12KM model and the European model, and also we're going to be looking at my forecast at the end, which I did actually update this morning. So we're going to start off here with the National Weather Service, and we'll go from west to east. We have flood watches over the Pacific Northwest, as well as some winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings dotted across parts of the northern Rockies and parts of the Cascades, and those are the higher terrain. Then we also have some winter weather advisories for the UP of Michigan, as well as some snow squall warnings in effect for parts of northern Michigan. And then we have a good area of winter weather advisories where you could be picking up about 1 to 4 inches of snowfall over parts anywhere from eastern Kentucky through even northwestern North Carolina through western Virginia, West Virginia, and then also to Maryland, southern Pennsylvania, and into southern New Jersey. Then we also have some wind advisories in effect for parts of South Carolina and Georgia, but that's about it. And we're going to be focusing on this little area right here with those winter weather advisories. That is going to be for this Mid-Atlantic snowstorm. So I want to quickly show you the service analysis map, and this was made earlier this morning, about 2 hours ago from when I'm recording this. And you see, this shows us where our low pressures are and where your boundaries between cold and warm are. So this red line, this indicates a warm front. This means that you're probably going to be seeing rainfall if you live south and east of this cold front as well. Cold front, behind the cold front, you're about 4 degrees or 5 degrees colder than you are in front of the cold front. You have this high pressure right in here over northern Virginia, which is allowing this cold air to sink south as you get this low pressure. By the time, since this is outdated by about 2 hours, I update this in another hour. This low pressure is somewhere probably around western Virginia, North Carolina, that area. And this high pressure has probably moved a little bit farther north and east. You see this colder air being pushed in. Temperatures are in the 20s and 30s right now, and over these areas. And as we continue this, if in the models, you're going to see this cold air gets pushed farther and farther north as the system drags that warm air farther north, and then once it departs, you're going to see this big blast of cold air right behind it. So I did make a map for this. This is going to show you basically a simplified view of what the surface analysis is like, and this was hand drawn by me. So the blue lines indicate cold fronts, and you see we have one over parts of the northern plains as well as parts in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and that's allowing some cold air to be trapped to the north. We also have some high pressures dotted here. That's blocking the system from moving straight up north, like it would actually, if this high pressure was not here, this system would have went straight up north pretty much. But since we do have this high pressure here, it is blocking it. So this system is going to have to maneuver kind of like this south of the high pressure. And also something to note, we have two high pressures out over the western United States. And this is all valid for this would be for Tuesday morning, the 7th. So this is when this map is valid for. So here's what the National Weather Service is showing as far as snowfall, and you see we do actually have quite a bit of snowfall over western Virginia and into West Virginia, about a good 2 to 4 inches over the lower elevations and the more interior parts of Virginia. And then as you get into West Virginia, you're looking at 6 to 7, in even some areas picking up closer to 9 inches of snowfall. And usually this is pretty accurate. This is kind of combining all the National Weather Service offices, their forecast, and then they put it onto one map here. So it is usually very accurate. You have 2-inch amounts reading all the way from southern Pennsylvania through southern New Jersey and down through northern Maryland and northern Virginia as well, and then coatings closer to the coast. And then also getting into southern New England, you have about 1 to 2 inches of snowfall, and then as you get into the Nantucket area, you're looking at closer to 2 inches. Maybe even some areas could pick up closer to 3 or 4 inches if a couple of these models are correct. So I want to compare the National Weather Service's radar compared to what the NAM was forecasting just 3 hours ahead of when it's forecasting. So this is what the National Weather Service radar is looking like. Most of this right here is snowfall. And you have some actually pretty intense snowfall at that over some of these areas. Areas pretty much near North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. That's pretty much all just rain. But these areas are picking up some good heavy to moderate snowfall in those areas. Now, as we go into the NAM, this would be for the same time frame. This is what the NAM shows, and it shows a very much more compact system. So we can go back and forth here. You see, it has a much more compact system, which means that this system, this NAM started only 2 hours before, and it's already undervaluating this system. So this system does have the potential, and a lot of these systems actually do happen where we're forecasting lower amounts, and then all of a sudden these amounts just skyrocket. And I think the amounts that we're at right now are pretty safe to say that this is pretty much what's going to happen, with a couple areas picking up a little more and a little less than what we are forecasting. So here's the NAM 12KM model, and we're going to start off here. This would be for just in a couple of hours, about 2 to 3 hours, moving into Western Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, into Pennsylvania, and then coming through the Mid-Atlantic, heavy to moderate snowfall. Now entering the I-95 corridor, so D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia now getting in on some snowfall, and then as you get into southern New Jersey, you're getting that heavy snowfall by the time you get into about 7 to 8 p.m. tonight, and then as we continue, this snow's going to start departing onto southern New England as you get into Wednesday morning, right around 1 to 2 a.m. It's in southern New England, and then it quickly departs into northern New England and into parts of Nova Scotia by Wednesday afternoon. And a lot of this, what you're seeing right here, most of this is just lake effect snowfall. This right here is this system, and it's off of the map currently, but this would be moving straight north and east pretty much into Nova Scotia. So here's your total snowfall out of this event. And this goes through the full event. You're seeing we have areas in southern Massachusetts through Pennsylvania, New Jersey, seeing closer to 1 to 4 inches of snowfall as we get into southern Pennsylvania, northern Maryland, according to this model, and then West Virginia, Western Virginia, where you've already been picking up that snow. This is additional amounts onto that where you have already picked up snow in this area. So you're still going to get an additional 4 to 5 inches of snowfall. So now we're going to look at your European model, and that's the snowfall. So here is your precipitation. So you see this is a couple hours behind, so this is basically where we're at right now, and I feel like the European has a little bit of a better handle. I think it's going to be a mixture between the NAM 12KM and the European underestimating this system, I believe, and the NAM 12KM kind of overachieving the system. So I think this system will definitely be an overachiever by a little bit. So a couple areas could get over 2 to 3 inches if you're only expecting 1 inch or so. So as we continue this Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, you're seeing the snowfall starting to break out over parts of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, and now into southern New England. And you might even see a brief change over to rain after the system. Now, as we continue into southern New England, you're seeing that snowfall starting to come in by about Wednesday 1 or 2 a.m., but it quickly departs by Wednesday early morning before you're even awake, and then you just have some flurries and snow showers come Wednesday. So here's your total snowfall out of this, and you're seeing a good 2 to 3 inches over this good widespread area from really from eastern Kentucky through West Virginia, Virginia, and through Maryland and Pennsylvania, and then about a dusting to maybe a coating and a bit of an accumulation on grassy surfaces over parts of New Jersey, New York, and through Massachusetts and Connecticut and Rhode Island as well, and parts of Nantucket. Again, this looks to be, if any spot in southern New England or the coastal northeast is going to see a lot of snowfall. It's most likely going to be it's either going to be southernmost Massachusetts, where that system kind of tracks, or it's going to be southern New Jersey and through Pennsylvania and Maryland. That's where, if anywhere in the coastal northeast is going to get snowfall, or a lot of snowfall, or 1 to 2 inches of snowfall, it's going to be those areas that I just pointed out. So here's my forecast. We're gonna get into it right now. And here's my storm track, first of all. And currently situated over eastern Tennessee, the low pressure is. And this is going from the 12th, or the 7th through the 8th. So from today until tomorrow, you have this storm track. This pink line indicates the storm track, and it's moving straight along pretty much through North Carolina and then into coastal Virginia and off to shore into the Atlantic after that. Now, here's your under 1 inch layer of snowfall, and this is going to be for Virginia, Kentucky, through even southern Ohio, most of West Virginia, all of Maryland, Delaware, and then getting into New Jersey, Pennsylvania, through upstate New York and into Long Island, and then also for Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. I didn't take into account lake effect from this map, so areas further in the interior northeast and the Great Lakes will be seeing snowfall still, but this won't be from this mid-Atlantic storm. So now, 1 to 3 inches looks to be, really, this looks to be the bullseye area. If you live from southern Massachusetts, southernmost Rhode Island, so the coastal areas of those states, through Long Island and into central and southern New Jersey, and then through Delaware and Maryland, and into western Virginia and West Virginia as well, look to be picking up 1 to 3 inches of snow. And we even have our final layer here, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall over parts of West Virginia and through into Virginia as well. Now, we are going to add our rainfall, and this is under 1 inch, so this is really all the rainfall that we have. And this system, it really doesn't have a lot of moisture with it, so any moisture, it's going to have to squeeze out all the moisture it can if you want to pick up 3 to 4 inches of snowfall if you're not in the Appalachians. So this isn't going to be a big system, it's more going to be a conversational piece over these areas. So that is going to wrap this video up. Please consider subscribing, turning on notifications, and if you did enjoy this video, please consider doing those things, and I really would appreciate if you did do those. If you have any questions on this storm, be sure to leave them down below. I do answer all comments. Anyways, guys, that was Eli the Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.